Jimmy Kimmel is crying on air again. Stephen Colbert is swearing on air again. We have more footage that has resurfaced that the Democrats would prefer stay buried, showing them in the past sounding like normal Americans regarding an illegal alien problem and what should be done with them. Also, they're ramping up their lunatic rhetoric, calling ICE agents Nazis. And that, well, not a dog whistle, that bullhorn, that call to action has been heard by the lunatics on TikTok who are sounding even more extreme than ever. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're new here because you won't find politically incorrect and independent analysis like this anywhere else. Here's Jimmy Kimmel, who once hosted one of the staple late-night comedy shows, turned into an anti-Trump editorial hour, crying about ICE getting rid of the criminal illegal aliens.
If our leaders are intentionally creating and encouraging violence and fear, then I hope you will also agree we need new leaders, because these are not leaders.
Of course, he's talking about the Republicans, when obviously everything they say is the exact opposite of reality, because it's Tim Walz, it's Jacob Frey, it's the Democrats in Congress who are inciting and calling for violence. Here comes the waterworks.
And to the people of Minneapolis, to the Preddy family and the Good family, and
whose moron children of yours got themselves killed by listening and being duped to the disinformation spewing from people like Jimmy Kimmel.
These people who were looking out for their neighbors.
They're looking out for their rapist, illegal alien neighbors. Their violent, criminal, illegal alien neighbors. Those are the kind of people they want to stay in the neighborhood. Those are the kind of people they're willing to get out in the streets and protest in order to keep around.
We want you to know that we are with you and you are not alone.
This is what 2026 is. Actually, I guess this has been going on for pretty much 10 years now. Imagine tuning into what you assume to be, what is promoted to be a comedy show, and you see the host crying. Stephen Colbert over on CBS, whose show was canceled because it's losing the network like $100 million a year, although he's still under contract for like another year or two. He had a little bit different tone to his voice.
I think we can all agree, guys. Now,
real tough guy, swearing on network television at midnight. But the libtards are really going to be crying and swearing when they see Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, revealing this interesting fact from the Obama administration.
This is a Washington Post headline from 9 years ago, 2016. Meet the man the White House has honored for deporting illegal immigrants. And I would remind everyone in this room that it was former President Barack Hussein Obama who awarded a medal to Mr. Homan. So he's obviously very qualified. He has the full trust and faith of the president. He will continue to have these meetings in the hopes that ICE and local law enforcement can cooperate and work together to have successful immigration enforcement, as we've seen in almost every other state across the country.
But Minnesota's got that little Somali immigrant child daycare fraud situation that they're desperately trying to distract from. They're also not going to be too happy if this clip of Chuck Schumer circulates. This is an oldie but goodie. This is a 30-year-old clip dating back to 1996. I've never shown this clip on this channel before. I didn't know that it existed. I've shown a lot of clips of him in the past saying that it was disrespectful to American workers by calling illegal aliens undocumented workers. Now, of course, illegal alien is considered to be like the N-word for the illegal aliens. But here he is back during the Clinton administration, sounding like a normal American.
This is an anti-fraud amendment. All over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud. And here, the gentleman from Florida has put together the most effective anti-fraud measure we can find without it changing the actions of the government one bit. And we find all this opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, of this chamber, what I worry about is that this bill, which started out with good intentions, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, is going to end up being the same kind of thing that the public gets angry with us on. We say we're doing something, and we do nothing. Because every time someone makes a rational and small proposal to get something done,
in this case, getting rid of the illegal alien problem, removing one of the primary incentives, the primary incentive for them to come here,
people say, well, what about this hypothetical, that hypothetical, etc. I urge support of this amendment. If you believe you want to stop fraud in immigration, you have no choice but to support this amendment.
Well, that was then, and this is now, when it's the primary platform of the Democrat Party to provide illegal aliens with every possible form of social welfare available.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay. Let me start with you, Mayor Buttigieg.
Every single one of them. And what a surprise, all of the new information that is surfacing about that idiot whose name we shouldn't even use. We don't want to turn him into a martyr like Fentanyl Floyd. The henceforth idiot who got himself killed in Minnesota by attacking ICE agents, by disrupting and assaulting them while armed. Now we learned this about him.
CNN is learning that Alex Preddy had a physical encounter with federal agents about a week before he was shot and killed by law enforcement. Sources tell CNN that Preddy broke a rib when a group of federal officers tackled him while he was protesting.
Not protesting, while he was interfering with a federal operation. Thank you. Meanwhile, Congressman Eric Fartsmell, who is running for governor of California, this guy thinks that he has a chance to become the governor. And I mean, God forbid if he actually wins, then the idiocracy situation in the land of fruits and nuts is infinitely worse than anybody could possibly imagine. But for now, I take his candidacy as a joke, just like his existence. But he is now calling for this to happen.
I have said that when I'm governor of California, if you wear a mask in California, you're losing your driver's license. If you have worked for ICE in the past, you are unhireable in our state. That law enforcement will prosecute you for kidnapping, battery, assault, murder on the people in our communities. We have to go on offense as governors. Otherwise, the most vulnerable people in our communities and the people who are protecting them, like Preddy.
Of course, Antifa will be exempt from those laws, just like Democrats are exempt from all laws. Just like Don Lemon is above the law, not getting indicted for participating in that horrifying disruption of the church there in Minnesota. And they're back to sounding like broken records, calling ICE agents and all Republicans, us normal people, Nazis.
What I'm suggesting is, and again, I've struggled with this my whole life, the difference between being right and being effective. And we're angry, and I get it, protesting is powerful. Promising them that there will be an accountability. And I've said this, I think there should be something equivalent to the Nuremberg trials after this is all over.
I agree.
And to make it clear that once we're back in power, which we will be, this is going to happen.
They're going to destroy the country. So buckle up.
And the statute of limitations on murder is
0.
Never.
Here's Rick Wilson, one of the founding members of the Lincoln Project. Those were those loser never-Trumpers who then got funded by Democrats in order to continue to attack President Trump.
You know, I almost tweeted this today, and I know I'll get canceled for saying this. I know I'm going to get in trouble. I want Stephen Miller to be the #1 in the Nuremberg trials when this is done. When this is done, I want Stephen Miller to be the first one who is tried and convicted and dangles. Okay?
Okay, he just referred to the gallows. He wants Stephen Miller dangling from the gallows there. Now, that's what the Democrats are up to. That's what they will attempt to do if they get back into power.
I want him to be brought before a court of law because he is the sole executive that runs all this DHS ICE stuff.
Normal people understand this is the exact kind of rhetoric which incited the not one but two lunatics to try to assassinate President Trump, the gender-bending furry lover to assassinate Charlie Kirk, and to attack countless Trump supporters after they're spotted out in public just wearing a MAGA hat. Here is the district attorney of Philadelphia.
This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them.
Actually, sir, over half of the country voted for President Trump. Do I need to pull up that poll that CNN even reluctantly showed, where the majority of Americans want all illegals deported? I won't show it. I just showed it yesterday. But this guy is so out of touch. They've been drinking their own Kool-Aid. They actually think that the overwhelming majority of Americans agree with them, when, as always, it's the exact opposite. The incendiary, violent rhetoric that we're seeing people just boldly post on social media is really unmatched. Get a load of this clown.
Hi, this is Elliot Forehand, candidate for Ohio Attorney General. I want to tell you what I mean when I say that I am going to kill Donald Trump. I mean, I'm going to obtain a conviction rendered by a jury of his peers at a standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, based on evidence presented at a trial conducted in accordance with the requirements of due process, resulting in a sentence duly executed of capital punishment. That is what I mean when I say that I'm going to kill Donald Trump.
So bold, not just some random TikToker who doesn't think that they can be identified, using his name, smiling as soon as he started the video, and running for public office. And this woman also should be in custody. At least she was fired, but just have a listen to her repeated instructions for what she says fellow nurses should do and what other citizens should do to members of ICE.
I thought of something good. I think it's something in the weirdest spot. Sabotage tactic, or at least scare tactic. All the medical providers, grab some syringes with needles on the end. Have them full of saline or succinylcholine, whatever. That will probably be a deterrent. Be safe. Okay, for today's resistance tip, I vote, anybody got any poison ivy, poison oak in their yard? Get some of that up with gloves, obviously. Get it in some water, like a gallon of water. Get the poison ivy oak water, and I'm gonna put it into a water gun. Aim for faces, hands.
At work, she's making these videos.
Are the single ladies where these ICE guys are going have a chance to do something, not without risk, but could help the cause for sure. Get on Tinder, get on Hinge, find these guys. They're around. They're an ICE agent, bring some X-Lax and put it in their drinks. Get them sick.
Again, a nurse making these videos at work. But thankfully, not all women are as crazy as she is. This clip has been circulating nonstop ever since whatever podcast this was first streamed. And at first I thought maybe this is AI, because it's getting very difficult to tell what is AI slop that's been flooding social media and what actually is real. This is a real clip from a real podcast.
Do you ever marry someone that has different political beliefs than you? I would never marry a guy that's liberal. Why not? Because he's gonna raise my son to be a
And this from the New York Times just the other day. The R word, retard, returns, dismaying those who fought to oust it. The term, long considered a slur for those with intellectual disabilities, is seeing a resurgence on social media and across the political right. And then there's this, men under 24, Gen Z boys growing up, returning to homophobic views of past generations, study suggests. Not to mention, we got people like Andre Williams, Ray Valentina, Carmen JC, and others making the N-word great again.
There are 4 different types of black Americans. Blacks, Negroes, niggas, and
You can't even sit on the train and fall asleep, look at a book without a coming to stab you or burn you alive.
Let's talk about niggas, because we're all tired of them.
And if you want to support my work, then just buy me a coffee by clicking the link in the description below. It's a great service to tip your favorite content creator by figuratively buying them a cup of coffee. It's like a $5 tip, basically. It's a great crowdsourcing platform. Way better than leaving a super thanks or a super chat because YouTube takes 30% right off the top. So just click the link in the description below, head on over there, and check it out.